Well, this is the Reverend Dr. Gilberto Rosado. Dios lo bendiga. Este es Reverendo Dr. Gilberto Rosado. Welcoming you to another broadcast. At this hour, we have our bilingual broadcast, our teaching in English and Spanish. So we ask that you be patient as we translate live on the fly between languages. Esta es la hora que damos la enseñanza en inglés y español y pedimos que tengas pues paciencia mientras que traduzcamos de un idioma al otro. Aproveche y aprende el otro idioma. While we're at it, you can learn the other language as well. Es un beneficio de sintonizarse con nuestro ministerio. It's a benefit, an added benefit, I should add, of tuning in to our ministry. Hello and welcome. Dios le bendiga a todos. Bienvenidos. Vamos a comenzar ahora mismo nuestra enseñanza de hoy. We are going to begin right now. Let me make a few adjustments as usual. I have to make a few adjustments here. Camera's out of whack here, so let me just fix that for you. We're still unpacking. Todavía estamos desempacando las cosas y necesitamos ajustar las cámaras. So 1 second here. Let me just configure these. Today we're talking about infidelity. We're going to give you the full Monty, as it says. Hoy vamos a hablar de la infidelidad y vamos a hablar bien comprensivamente de él o de ella para que haya un buen conocimiento, entendimiento de las razones que suceden las cosas y cómo prevenir. We're going to learn the why certain things go on and take place and how to have some prevention in the first place. So that's what we're going to do today. So we hope that it's a blessing for many of you. It's going to be an education for most of you. And so let's get going with that. Now the cameras have been adjusted. Sound is good. La cámara ajustado, el sonido bien. So, ¿qué es este? Well, before I get into that, I just want to tell everyone there's a lot of sickness going on, coronavirus particularly. There's still the flu season, so don't get all uptight when you start getting a runny nose and you start feeling, sneezing and stuff like that, And that doesn't mean you got coronavirus, so don't get into a panic, everybody. Calm down. Be calm. It's really important. Hay que ser calmado en estos tiempos de esta coronavirus que está pasando por ahí. No podemos estar, ¿cómo se dice?, locamente viviendo en temor. Así que cogen calma, tengan paciencia. Pero siempre, como siempre hemos avisado, hay que tener, precauciones. No hagan las cosas que no se debe hacer nunca. No importa si con coronavirus o sin coronavirus. Hay que vivir una vida sana, limpia, usando razonamiento y no viviendo, como decían en los cánticos, la vida loca. Pues la vida loca se termina rápido. So, deja eso. Las cosas son reales. Aquí hay mucho peligro. So, no está viviendo locamente. Vamos a usar la cabeza. So, we have to not live the crazy life and understand that, you want to take risks in your life. You're going to develop or be exposed yourself and others. Unfortunately, see, if it was an initial, but it's just yourself, you're just harming yourself, it would be fine. But the fact is that you don't care about what you're doing, or you say, I have a right to do what I want to do, but what you're doing affects others. So do you have that right to affect others? I'm sure you would disagree. I think some people need to think a little harder than just, I just want to do this. I want to do it because I want to do it. Think about it some more. You're not the only one alive, around here. There's other people. And so we need to think of others as well, not just ourselves. So nosotros tenemos que pensar de otra gente, de otra persona. No está viviendo la vida. Esta es mi vida, esta es mi vida. Su vida afecta a otros. And there's a lot of you out there who have done things that you knew were not the things to do, right? Because it's your life. But after everything happened, who else is taking care of your life and the results of what you did? See, so it's not just your life. And this is the thinking is lacking in many people. I'm sorry to come up with a rebuke so early, but the society needs to be woken up. And this class today also will wake you guys up also on some other things. Así que, and then what do? Then you go and you buy up all the toilet paper. That's what you do. You guys are full of it, right? That's why you're buying up all this toilet paper. The toilet and papier. Man. Nine. Kein toilet and papier. Mehr. Huh? No more toilet paper in German. For goodness sake, you don't understand English. No entienden en inglés. So le hablé en español, no hay más papel de toilet. Y esto es lo que sucede, porque cada uno se preocupa de sí, nada más. Viven la vida loca, se enferman a medio mundo, y entonces compran y cogen todo el papel de toilet. See, this is the problem. There's a problem, folks. Esto es un problema que hay. Okay? Y es porque la gente no están usando la cabeza. See? And so that makes it an unsafe place, really. So that's really the concern you should have. It's not coronavirus. Your problem is not coronavirus. Your problem are the hard-headed folks that live around you that don't do the right thing. And they go around every day saying, I know. You know nothing. That's why this world is panicking the way it is, because you know nothing. Neither do they. You're creating your own misery. That's all you know how to do. So wake up and smell the coffee. Listen to these teachings. That's the other thing. No, you don't want to listen to good teaching because you got better things to do, right? Like find toilet paper. I agree with you today. Go ahead. Try it. Así que, la gente no quieren hacer las cosas bien hechas. No quieren oír la verdad. Y entonces están paniqueados cuando las cosas no trabajan bien. Eso es la realidad. Eso es el temor grande que debe haber. No es el coronavirus, no es un asteroide que nos mete un cantazo un día y tapa el sol por meses. Es la estupidez de la gente, porque no quieren aprender y no quieren someterse a la enseñanza, como hacemos nosotros ahora. Cada 2 horas el domingo, no quieren. Prefieren estar haciendo su cosa. Pues ahora vaya y haga tus cosas, busca papel de toilet. Alrighty, guys, that's the way it is. Another thing is, thanks the Lord, now we have other churches following our lead. Amen. Now all the churches are realizing, Reverend Rosado, he was ahead of his day. He started this online church, and now we have to all do that. Now you're pretty forced. And how are you going to take care of things now? You want to ask for my advice? ¿Quieren pedir mi consejería ahora que tienen que hacer la programa ahora, dirigir sus iglesias a través de la red? Porque yo empecé esto años atrás. La gente, tú estás en la línea, tú estás en la línea. Yo, well, yeah. Y estamos bien sanitos ahorita. So, again, I'm not making light of it. It's just funny how things happen, right? I always taught the church, listen, what's coming up is not going to be too good of an idea for people to be gathered together, massively in one place. And the Lord had already given us the illumination of the future events coming in. I said it, listen, when things start happening in the churches, then people go start realizing, wait a minute, it's getting dangerous to do it this way. So in any case, we thank God that we are doing what we've done for years now, and we will continue to do it until the Lord comes and take us home. Amen. Which the way things are looking is not going to be too far off now. Así que nosotros, gracias a Dios, hemos estado dando enseñanza y predicando. Un mensaje de uno de nuestros pastores, que él recuerde en aquellos entonces que yo había dicho que hay que estar preparado de lo que viene en referencia a lo que estoy diciendo ahora. Así que nosotros hace años estamos haciendo esto. Las otras iglesias ahora se están viendo la sabiduría en usar los medios de comunicación y dejar pues las tradiciones, porque la tradición ahora está haciendo algo negativo, o sea, para la salud y para la vida de los feligreses. Ahora hay que estar pensando en modernizarnos un poco y ser ayuda y no ser problema a la sociedad. Estamos dando gracias al Señor que por lo menos hace tiempo nos dirigió, nos llevó a casi exclusivamente estar dando o conduciendo la iglesia a través de la red internet. So aquí estamos y aquí seguimos. No hay que cerrar iglesias con nuestra organización, porque seguimos, no hay peligro en la forma en que nosotros estamos haciendo como el Señor nos dirigió. There's another, obviously, people thinking, you guys are guided by the Spirit of God. Estamos hay que estar pensando, están siendo dirigidos por el Espíritu Santo. You guys actually ask this question. Hay que ver evidencia. There has to be evidence. All right. So, that being said, lávase en las manos, chico. That being said, wash your hands, for goodness sake. Yeah, you always wash your hands every time, and brush your teeth while you're there, please. Use a mouthwash, please. Let us fix this. Let us use coronavirus to fix some issues, okay? Vamos a usar esto de la coronavirus para arreglar algunos asuntos. Lava sus manos muchas veces durante el día. Y mientras que está lavando las manos, cepíllate los dientes. Y usa, ¿cómo se dice? Enjuágate la boca con mouthwash. Eso que perfumar eso ahí dentro. Esa cosa. Y entonces, mijo, porque hay que usar este coronavirus para arreglar esos problemas sociales que todavía como permanecen, son incrustados en la sociedad. Así que manténgase limpio, ayuda a los niños, help your children to develop and maintain. See, the mistake is going to be made that you only worry about this now. After coronavirus, it goes away. Then what's the mistake going to be? That you go back to your old ways. And that will be the greatest mistake you made, because the next thing is going to be very worse. It's going to be worse than coronavirus. Okay, and when that stings you, that's going to be there's not going to be any much hope for you. Okay, if you don't maintain the cleanliness that you now have and the preparedness that you should have had for this, that you're going to learn from this to have for your family in terms of food, in terms of resources, and things that you need to survive for weeks when there's nothing in the stores, no deliveries in the foreseeable future, etc., etc., etc. If you guys don't prepare yourself after this time, that's your fault. Si ustedes no se preparan después de esto, de este coronavirus, que tengan en sus hogares semanas y semanas, dije semana y semana, usted quiere interpretarlo, a ver cuánto tiempo es bíblicamente. You do that. Semanas y semanas que no hay más nada en la tienda. Si tú no empiezas a organizarte poco a poco, toda la semana, guarda algo, comprado, guarda eso y prepara un régimen. I'm going to start doing that also online here to help a few of you out there get your life together, start preparing how to prepare your cabinets, kitchen cabinets, if you have a pantry, to have a few weeks. I'm not talking about two either, a few weeks of food and first aid supplies and survival stuff, because when things start really going on, this is just a, what do you call it, a drill. This is a drill. This is a warning from God. I told you guys before, God's going to start talking, and the thing is, are you going to begin to listen now? God is giving you the warning. What's coming is going to be more frightening and more devastating than what you're seeing now. This is nothing. Esto ahora que estamos no es nada. Dios está preparando hace tiempo y hablando a nosotros que sean preparados, que no toman las cosas por dados, porque no lo son. Prepárase. Y usan esto ahora de coronavirus como un aprendizaje, como una alerta, y usa esto como una, ¿cómo se dice? Un escalón para preparación para su familia, limpieza y lo higiénico, en almacenar semanas de alimentos, semanas de, papel de toilet paper, o preparar las cosas para sobrevivir, mantener la sanidad, aumentar la calma por varias semanas. Va a haber cosas disponibles y aún mismo no sin electricidad. Also, as well, maybe some things, some weeks you'll have no electricity. How are you going to survive? No cell phone. Oh my. How are you going to breathe? Así que va a venir tiempo que no va a haber comunicación, no vamos a tener electricidad. No van a ver este rostro tan bello los domingos para mirarlo. ¿Qué van a hacer? ¿Cómo van a respirar? So, necesitan ustedes prepararse. We need everyone that God brings to this audience right now listening to my voice. The message is clear. Prepare, because what's coming down the pipe is not pretty. It's going to be very, very serious. It's not this coronavirus yet. This is nothing. This is just a little a baby trial here, a test, a fire drill. But the future things coming going to be the real thing. And you need to be prepared, because the worst thing, as you can see, the worst thing that people can do, what'll make it worse and impossible to survive, you know what it is? It's not the lack of toilet paper. Lo que va a venir es más fuerte todavía. Y lo que va a hacer peligroso la existencia de vida, de su vida, los chances de sobrevivir, no es la falta de papel de toilet. Es el pánico de la gente. It's going to be the panic of the people. Because, of course, they didn't pay attention. They didn't make preparations. Ellos no acudieron a este alerta y no hicieron preparativos. So you have to do that, because it's getting serious. There's serious things that are coming that you can see. Look at how the reactions are. And the government can try to do everything they can try. El gobierno puede hacer todo lo que pueden hacer. But the final analysis is people. It's the people in the block. It's the people in the city. These people are going to be panicking, and that's the thing that's going to make it impossible. So again, you need to sit down with your families, and you need to think this through. You need to make proper planning. Again, you have some time after this coronavirus thing is over. It doesn't mean to go and empty the shelves the next week. No, it means that every time you go to the shopping mall, every time you go, you get something extra, and that extra gets put away with a plan. Yo voy a hacer, cada vez que ustedes van a la tienda, después de todo esto, ya es too late, pero después de todo esto, ustedes necesitan ir a la tienda cuando van a hacer compras, necesitan algo de la cocina para comer por la noche, lo que sea. Ustedes van a ir y van a comprar algo extra, algo de más, que va a ser almacenada. Y yo voy a hacer una programación uh, para enseñarles cómo organizarte mejor los gabinetes y su forma en el hogar para que puedan ir almacenando las cosas y estar listo, estar preparado. Cómo sentarnos como familia, cómo planificar y cómo cambiar, cómo gastan los recursos, ¿no? So we're going to sit down. There's a lot of things you can do amazingly, changing certain habits that we have. We have a lot of habits that are counterproductive to survival. Okay. So those things is what you need to change really right away as soon as possible. So we'll be doing some shows on this issue. So to help you guys get yourself situated so that you change the lifestyle, the culture, family culture, the way you do things in your home, so that at any moment the lights go out, there's no food in the supermarket, and everything is done, you and your family can survive for a couple of weeks without sweating it. Okay, and it gives you enough time, those couple of weeks, for long-term planning, which we also going to talk about. So that's what I'm going to do for everyone as a public service from our ministry, from our church, because we can see that most people are really not prepared for any type of emergency, especially you guys in the big city. You guys are getting too fat and flabby in the city. Everything is right there down the block. Okay, so anyway, así que ustedes que están en las grandes ciudades, pues todo viene a la bodeguita y a cruzar la calle. So hay muchas cosas que tienen que cambiar. All right. So eso lo hacemos por parte de nuestro ministerio, un servicio público para ayudar a las personas. So make sure you get everyone tied into the broadcast because it's going to have some planning going on. We'll announce it and we'll get everyone in tune into that. Be good for the pastors, get people together for that after the coronavirus thing is over, of course, and use that as a teaching, get-together so that people come together and prepare, and do that in the homes. Also, it's a great as a public service, so you can reach out and use that as for that reason. Voy a hacer esto como un servicio público en nuestra iglesia. Los pastores pueden utilizarlo como una serie para hospedarlos en las casas y hacer las presentaciones y ayudar a las familias en la preparación. All right, I had I don't like to talk about business also on Sunday, but it just so happens that I did have a business announcement that I made. It went in, I think I broadcasted it, and you guys never saw it again. And that was about a business that organizes a community preparedness. That was one of the things that we had developed, I think, 2 years ago or so. So that is also still there. But I'm just saying, so this is nothing new for us. So this is something that we've been talking about and dealing with for quite a while. Hice un negocio, ustedes saben que tengo videos de negocio, aunque no me gusta hablar de negocio los domingos, pero sí preparamos uno que tenía que ver con la preparación en emergencia y responder y estar dispuesto en ¿cómo se dice?, ayudar a las personas cuando están en necesidad en esta emergencia. Y eso ya hace 2 años o más que yo junté y creé ese programa. Esas cosas todavía están vigentes. Solo que esto no es nuevo para nosotros. Nosotros no estamos, como ya salió coronavirus, que ahora empezamos a hablar de eso. No, tenemos ya años ya visualizando y preparando lo necesario de diversas formas, hasta en negocio, en forma de ayuda comunitaria, en forma de la iglesia, etcétera, etcétera. En diferentes maneras y modos que las personas se preparan. Eso no es nuevo para nosotros. Okay, I think that covers all the announcements that we have. Eso cubre todos los anuncios, el preámbulo y ambulé. Pues vamos a entrar en la infidelidad. Let's get into the issue of infidelity. Obviously, when we're talking about this type of matter, we have to go to the beginning. I've always advised, whenever we get into certain subject matters, dealing with people and things, it is always the best policy so that we can establish our thoughts and identify our position um, by looking at the way things started. And this means the book of Genesis. Nosotros, para entender cómo bregar con los asuntos, cómo tratar los asuntos y dónde estamos posicionados, siempre he enseñado en todos mis tiempos enseñando que hay que siempre ir al principio. Y ese principio es Génesis. Génesis es el principio. Génesis 1:1 dice en el principio. Right? Así que in Genesis 1:1, the Bible begins with in the beginning. It's so important with that statement. It's so vital because you have to realize that everything started there. Everything, God is laying out everything, the beginning of everything. Dios está exponiendo el principio de todas las cosas in Genesis. So that is why we always want to start there so that we can see what is the way it's supposed to be. So así podemos ver cómo empezaron las cosas, cómo están supuestos ser las cosas, right? And how everything developed from there, cómo desarrollaron las cosas después del principio cuando Dios lo instituyó. So for that, we go to Genesis 1. This issue of fidelity and infidelity. Again, we're going to start here with the most important verse, and that is verse 1. So let's go and look at that now. Lo primero que hay que analizar aquí es el verso 1 de las Sagradas Escrituras. I'm sorry, let me get that back again. Trying to make. Let's go over here. Okay, verso 1, in the first verse of the Bible, it says, in the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth. Okay. En el principio, Dios creó los cielos y la tierra. The main point here that you have to realize is that before anything was, lo más importante aquí que tienen que realizar es antes que sucediera cualquier cosa, que existiese cualquier cosa, Dios era. Before anything existed, God was. That's what this is saying. That's what God is teaching us. Eso es lo que Dios nos está enseñando. So what is God saying with this? ¿Qué quiere decir esta cosa? ¿Qué es lo que Dios nos está enseñando? What is God saying? He's saying that what is reality? What is the true thing? What is the real thing in all eternity? ¿Cuál es lo verdadero y lo real en toda la eternidad? Dios. It's God. God is the only real thing in all eternity. Dios es lo único verdadero, real en toda la eternidad. Todo lo demás, everything else, is created. Todo lo demás es creado. It's not the real thing. No es lo real. It was created, formulated, formed by the real thing. Fue creado, formulada, dado forma por lo real. So that, and this is important to understand, so that we can proceed and realize that all the things you and I have to deal with, que todas las cosas, esto es importante porque todas las cosas que tú y yo tenemos que bregar y tener interacción o bregar en nuestra vida y contender en nuestra vida, todo aquello no es la realidad, sino es algo formulado, compuesto, creado por el Dios que es verdad y es lo único que es real. So that we have to understand that all the things we have to deal with in life are not the reality. It is a created, formulated, composed reality from or by the only truth and the only reality in all of eternity, which is God. So that puts into the proper perspective. Eso pone en la perspectiva apropiada todo lo demás cosas. Everything else is put into the proper perspective. It's the reason God makes this the first statement in the scripture. Es la razón que Dios hace de eso el primer dicho o declamación en las Sagradas Escrituras. No fueron los 10 mandamientos. It wasn't the 10 commandments. It was in the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. No eran los 10 mandamientos, era en el principio creó Dios los cielos y la tierra. To put the proper perspective in everything else we're going to read, including the 10 commandments. Para poner en la perspectiva apropiada todo lo demás que íbamos a leer, incluso los 10 mandamientos. Because a lot of people and religious people over many others, and in the same way, even atheists do this. We put the created things first. Los religiosos, tanto como los ateos, ponen primero las cosas creadas en vez de poner primero a Dios. See? So we tend to put an emphasis on the created things because we ourselves are created. It's understandable. I'm not criticizing. You just need to realize this. You have to realize it. Nosotros no estamos criticando que ustedes ponen o nosotros seres humanos ponemos la énfasis en las cosas creadas más que a Dios. El problema es que hay que caerse en cuenta que eso es lo que estamos haciendo. Y cuando se pueda, hacer correcciones, ¿no? En perspectiva. See, it's important to understand this so that you can make proper adjustment in your perspective. Especially when we're dealing with things that are established in the Bible record. Especialmente cuando estamos bregando con asuntos que están establecidos en la Biblia. most of the religions have a human perspective on the declarations of God. La mayoría de religiones tienen una perspectiva humana sobre las declaraciones de Dios. La pregunta es si esas son las perspectivas correctas. The question is, are those the proper perspectives to have? I mean, are we going to subject God to our perspective? Or are we supposed to learn from God His perspective? ¿Estamos supuestos a aplicar a Dios nuestra perspectiva? ¿O estamos supuestos a aprender de Dios su perspectiva? Which one is it? ¿Cuál es? See, this is more than religion. Esto es más que la religión. Estos son prácticas o ejercicios intelectuales. These are intellectual exercises. Is man able to do that? Is Israel ready to do that? El hombre es capaz de hacerlo. ¿Está Israel capaz de hacerlo? Yesterday we saw in the Sabbath teaching how God was testing Israel with the Sabbath. Ayer aprendimos cómo fue que Dios dice que usó el sábado para probar a Israel, a ver si eran calificados para soportar la ley, para obedecer la ley. And that was to test them to see if they could possibly receive the law, to fulfill it. What is the perspective that Israel had? ¿Qué es la perspectiva que tuvo Israel? Y que lo tienen, and still they have it today. This, I think, is the greatest issue of all. Esto es el más gran problema o desafío de todos. Y por eso Dios lo pone como el primera cosa. Ustedes ven que, bueno, el principio es el principio, no es más nada que eso. You know, ustedes pueden, you can say that, you know, this is the first thing. There's nothing else. Of course he's going to start with the way it was in the beginning. But the fact is, he didn't need to start with that. He didn't have to. Dios no tenía que empezar con este dicho en la Biblia. No tenía que empezar con eso. As a matter of fact, he could have started with the 10 Commandments, right? Él podía haber empezado con los 10 mandamientos, así de declaración 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Ese hubiera sido un empezar a la Biblia tremendo. You know, some of you guys out there would be saying, yeah, man, that would have been great. Yeah, it would fit right into your religion, wouldn't it? Algunos de ustedes que son sabaticanos o sabáticos, lo que sea, sabaticales, whatever. Sabatinos y que guardan la ley, aquellos que son legalistas, ustedes están de acuerdo que el Éxodo 20 hubiera sido perfecto como el principio de la Biblia. ¿Quién podía negar que hay que obedecer la ley? Who would be able to what we call debate on or to deny that the law was for all of man? Who would then? It's the first thing God said in the Bible. I mean, wouldn't that be right? See, it already shows you that that's not what is the right thing. Already with that, I just pointed out this. After God says the 10 Commandments, then He would say in the beginning. Then He could have gone to there, right? Because again, the most important thing is the 10 Commandments. But God didn't start with the 10 Commandments. God started with the most important point of all. Before you guys go running off and starting all these religions and all these denominations, antes que ustedes corran a hacer sus denominaciones y sus iglesias y sus creencias, antes que ustedes van locos por allá, en el principio creó Dios los cielos y la tierra. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. That's it. Wiped all you guys off the map. Así elimina Dios este debate. Should be, but some people just don't read the Bible. Simply read it. First thing, most important thing. Everything is created. Everything you're fighting about is created. Todo lo que tú estás peleando es creado. Lo verdadero es Dios. The only reality is God. Doesn't matter what you're doing. You be a Muslim, you be a Buddhist, Christian, whatever other type of religion, a Satanist, an atheist. In the beginning, God created heavens and the earth. En el principio creó Dios los cielos y la tierra. No importa lo que si tú eres ateo, budista, cristiano, musulmán, lo que sea. No importa. Cualquier satanista, adorador de Satanás, adorador de uno mismo, no importa. En el principio creó Dios los cielos y la tierra. So he puts all of that to bay and quashes the errors that abound in our society and in our environment. Así que en nuestro ambiente, todas las falsas religiones, las falsas ideas se caen cuando uno entiende lo que quiere decir Dios, como en el principio creó Dios los cielos y la tierra. Todas esas cosas, lo que tú crees que su iglesia es mejor que la otra, son cosas creadas. Everything that you think your church and your belief is better than the other guys or more correct than the other guys, all of that is created. It's no better and no worse. The only truth is God. La única verdad es Dios. Las demás debates, las demás cosas no tienen validez porque son sobre cosas creadas. And obviously they're misinterpretations then, right? Because you interpreted and understood the Bible without understanding this first verse. Ustedes interpretaron y malinterpretaron la Biblia. Eso no importa lo que tú dices, los textos que tú dices, y dice que la Biblia dice. La Biblia dice esto, la Biblia dice aquello. La Biblia dijo esto primero. Y su opinión no vale, porque esta dice que no vale. See, you can say everything you want to say about this verse, that thing, and this thing, and that's why your church believes that, and that's why that's the truth, and everyone else is wrong. You can say all that and believe all that all day long, and every week of the month, and every year. But the fact is that your doctrine does not square with God's first statement. Because the things that you're fighting over and the things that you're distinguishing yourself out of and from everyone else is a created thing. It's not the real thing. All right, so everything is in relation then that follows. Everything else that follows from verse 2 and onward through Genesis, Exodus, Numbers, Deuteronomy, right? Leviticus and all the rest. Torah, Tanakh, Old Testament, New Testament, Revelation, all of the Bible is subject to understanding and to the inference and to the teaching of this one verse. This is the beginning. And this is the way you have to understand everything else that's going to happen. Everything else we're going to discuss. Everything else I'm going to give you. This is the beginning of it. Todo lo demás que viene, todo lo que te voy a decir, todo lo que te voy a entregar, está basada en su entender de este primer declaración. So this is why this verse is so important. Because you need to recognize it as the most important teaching of God in the Bible. Usted tiene que reconocerla como lo más importante declaración de Dios en toda la Biblia. This one right here. I know you didn't hear that before, did you? Tú nunca has oído de eso antes, ¿verdad? Porque tú oíste el texto importante para su creencia. Éxodo 28. Mateo, whatever, 25, this and that, right? Whatever verse that you guys or it's your favorite verse, or whatever is your main important verse in all the Bible, whatever your church focuses on all the time, whatever your pastor focuses on all the time, la enseñanza, el verso que siempre ustedes usan, lo que ustedes ponen ahí toda su fe en ese texto y ponen tanta importancia en ese texto, todo eso solo demuestra que no están entendiendo lo primero que dijo Dios. All of that is just proof that you don't understand what God said first. Okay, what we're talking about here is the fixer of all the problems and all the differences in the churches. Esto es lo que arregla todos los problemas y todas las diferencias entre las iglesias. This is the first thing God said, because that's the first thing. That's the important thing. So then everything else is in perspective. It's a created thing, everything else. Todo lo demás es creado y formado. It's created and formed. But the truth is God. So what is the perspective we're supposed to have? So ¿cuál es la perspectiva que estamos supuestos tener? Today's topic is infidelity. Is it infidelity based on us? El tema de hoy es la infidelidad. ¿Es la infidelidad de nuestra perspectiva? Are the things that God told you to do or not to do, are those things because of human issues? Las cosas que Dios dijo que hiciésemos o no hiciésemos, ¿son así por los asuntos humanos? ¿O son así por lo que Dios es? Or are they what God is or what God is teaching us? Because in the beginning, God puts the proper perspective. En el principio, Dios habla lo que es la perspectiva correcta. So that's what we need to understand. As we go through, let us go through, in terms of infidelity and everything else that's in like the Ten Commandments and things that are in the Bible, has to be in this form. Todo lo demás que viene en la Biblia tienen que tener esta forma, because God sets it up from the beginning. He set up the form. In the beginning, God. En el principio, Dios. Punto. ¿Ya? God was. Dios era. Ya era. No había más nada. No había otra cosa. There was nothing else. Nothing in your religion existed. Ninguna cosa en su religión existía. Ninguna cosa en su creencia existía. Nothing in your belief system existed. Except, perhaps, God. Lo único era Dios. Punto. Lo demás no existía. Everything else didn't exist. That's the things you guys fight about that separate y'all. Esas son las cosas que te separan. Lo demás cosas que en el principio no existía. So then everything, the minute God creates the heaven and earth, He created a relationship. Cuando Dios hace los cielos, la tierra, empieza una ¿qué? Una relación. What is the relationship? Heaven and the earth with God. La relación es en los cielos y la tierra con Dios. Which one is the real one? The real thing? Isn't there a commercial about that? The real thing. Hay un comercial que dice la cosa verdadera, ¿no? The real thing is God. The truth is God. La verdad es Dios. La cosa real es Dios. Lo demás, creado. The other things are formed. They're created. They're made. So that everything, but you have to understand that everything is a relation to God and in relation to God. Lo que quiero a enseñarle es que todo está en relación con Dios. Everything has a relationship to God. So this is not about you. What you feel, lo que tú sientes, y tu opinión, and your opinion, on your perspective, y tu perspectiva, no tiene nada que ver, has nothing to do con la verdad, with the truth. Our reaction to things that happen, like infidelity, seems to be a personal thing. Nuestra reacción casi siempre con cosas así como la infidelidad tiende a ser personal. And like many things in our lives, it's personal. We take it personal. Y como muchas cosas en nuestra vida lo tomamos personalmente. Algo que nos ofende, que estamos ahí entremetidos en esto contra de uno. But Genesis 1:1 teaches us that all the things are relational to God. Lo que Dios está enseñando con Génesis 1 es que todas las cosas tienen relación con Dios. Eso es la realidad. That is the reality of the matter. That's the truth of the matter. La verdad del asunto es que todo tiene que ver en relación con Dios. And the issue with men is either you recognize it or you don't. El asunto con los hombres o con el hombre, es reconocerlo o no. No cambia la reacción. Just because men like don't believe in God doesn't change Genesis 1. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. El hecho que muchos hombres no creen en Dios no cambia Génesis 1:1. En el principio creó Dios los cielos y la tierra. That's not coronavirus, by the way. It's called teaching the right things against the false things. And the remedy is drinking some water. Thank God for the water. Huh? The Holy Spirit moved over the water, verse 2. See that? So important. Dios se movía sobre el Ruach HaKodesh, se movía sobre las aguas. Verso 2. That's the second thing. So when we're dealing with this issue with infidelity, we have to understand it's a thing because God is real. La infidelidad, en términos de la cosa de infidelidad, es que es algo porque Dios es real. That's why it's a thing. If there was no God, it wouldn't be a thing. Si no hubiese Dios, no hubiera sido algo. Pero porque hay Dios, la infidelidad es algo. Because there's a God, the infidelity is a thing. And I'm going to go into the explanation of what it is and why it's that way. Infidelity. When we talk about infidelity, we're talking about unfaithfulness, right? So let's look up for the things. As I do this, I'm showing you guys also how you guys should can and should investigate for yourself. So we're going to search the word. We're going to look for infidelity. Infide, the action or state of being unfaithful to a spouse or other sexual partner. What other sexual partner can you be unfaithful to? See that? Okay, so infidelity, the second one is just unbelief in a particular religion. Well, that's fine. It means you're not faithful. You're not one of the faithful. Del. In means not. Fi is faithful. Faithful. Okay, so it's the state, it's the ity of being not faithful. This is not talking about the faithful in terms of having faith. It's about being what do you call it? Not being truthful to the relationship. It would be called faithful. Faithful because you're staying connected to it. Hablan de la infidelidad como no teniendo fe, no teniendo, siendo sin fe, sin fe a su esposo, esposa, y dice u otro socio sexual, o sea, compañero sexual. Eso no es lo que dice la Biblia, pero de todo modo, esa es la definición que da el mundo. This is the worldly definition of it, because they say or other sexual partner. The question is that according to the Bible, this is not 100% correct. El problema aquí que de acuerdo a la palabra de Dios, esto no está correcto. Right? So we're going to see that. So it's, in any case, it's not staying faithful to the expectation and to the promises. No está siendo fiel a las expectaciones de las promesas hechas. What are the promises? What are the expectations? Why are there expectations of fidelity? ¿Por qué hay expectaciones a la fidelidad? Do you know why? Why should there be expectation of fidelity, of faithfulness in a relationship between a man and a woman? Because that's the only real expectation that there is. Everything else is a pseudo expectation. Solo entre un hombre y una mujer puede haber una expectación de fidelidad. ¿Por qué? ¿Por qué por qué existe esa expectación? Why is that expectation existent? Well, we look back at the beginning again. God made man differently than he made the other creatures. Dios hizo al hombre diferente de lo que hizo los otros criaturas. So let's take a look at that. Vamos a mirar aquí, ven. And as you can see, let's see, and God, let's see, here at 20, and God said, let the waters bring forth abundantly the moving creature, see? So God started creating moving creatures, bringing them forth, that have life, and fowl that may fly, every flying thing. Fowl means flying, that may fly above the earth. So that doesn't mean just birds, right? It can also mean insects, right? That may fly above the earth in the open firmament of heaven. And God created great whales and every living creature that moveth, which the waters brought forth abundantly after their kind, and every winged fowl See, that's a different fowl than the other ones, right? See, if you let the Bible talk, it tells you things. The other one wasn't winged fowl; it was just fowl, everything that flies. Here it specifies winged fowl after his kind, and God saw it was good. So He made two types of fowl. You understand? God is telling you everything as detailed as ancient Hebrew can get. And God blessed them, saying, "Be fruitful and multiply, fill the waters in the seas, and let the fowl multiply in the earth." Okay? Y así sí que Dios hizo las cosas volantes. I'm going to catch that in the Spanish. I'm not going to read the whole thing, but I'm just going to catch that foul thing in Spanish. Voy con dar tiempo en español para buscar eso de los volantes. No las hojas volantes, sino las criaturas. So dije Dios, y creó Dios los grandes monstruos marinos, y todo ser viviente que se mueva, y de las aguas produjeron según su género, y toda ave alada. Right? That's the next one we did. Y viviente. Aquí dice y aves, pero no dice aves alada. Dice aves. Pero la palabra en hebreo quiere decir volar. Son cosas que vuelan aquí. Pero acá, con detalle, dice y toda ave alada. Esas son las aves que tienen alas. Esas son, como tú dices, los pájaros. Pero esta aquí no son los pájaros, sino las otras cosas que vuelan, los insectos, etcétera, etcétera. Pero no eran pájaros hasta esta que dice y toda ave alada. Pero que ustedes entiendan que Dios habla claro, habla claro, pero hay que entender lo que está diciendo. Y Dios lo bendijo diciendo fructificar, multiplicar, llenar las mares. Ok, lo que quiero enseñar aquí es que usted ve que Dios separa la hembra del macho. Do you see here that God separates the male and female? Did you see anything like that there? Or He's just creating? Just a question. Because these are the things you have to ask yourself. Then God said, let the earth bring forth the living creature after his kind, cattle and creeping thing, and beast of the earth after his kind. And it was so. And God made the beast of the earth after his kind, and cattle after their kind, and everything that creepeth upon the earth after his kind. And God saw that it was good. Did you see God take the cattle and then split them in half to make the male and female? Usted vio aquí si Dios cogió el macho de las vacas, del becerro y lo dividió en mitad para que haya hembra y varón. Did you see that? ¿Viste eso? No lo dice, ¿no? And then you see here el 26 que dice, vamos a hacer el hombre en nuestra imagen y después de nuestra semejanza. Y entonces dijo que tengan dominio, Dios los creó. Pero entonces dice, y así Dios los creó en su propia imagen y la imagen de Dios. He created him, him, but then it specifies, male and female created he them. Entonces especifica Dios que hembra y macho y hembra creó Dios a ellos. Let's get that wording in Spanish, precisely, en español. Y creó Dios al hombre a su imagen y a imagen de Dios lo creó, varón y hembra los creó. Then in Genesis 2, En Génesis 2, en Génesis 2, vemos cómo Dios creó al hombre y la mujer. So let's go there. That's in Hebreo. A lot of people take this to mean that there's a different creation. No, it isn't. It's that in Hebrew and in the Hebrew writing, the custom obviously was to expand later on. You see the same thing in Revelation 2. It tells you something, and then the next chapter, for example, later on, it goes back and gives you details that it didn't do before. Because the first thing was a summary. It's a summary. This is all the thing God did. Then it goes into specific details. This is what you see between Genesis 1 and Genesis 2. En Génesis 2 son especificidades. Génesis 1 es lo general. Es una práctica en la lectura hebrea de que se da una sumación, un sinopsis. Y entonces se va enfocando en ciertas actividades, ciertos hechos que ya se leyó. No es que haya otro cuento de creación aquí. Es una amplificación de lo que ya se dijo. Entonces el verso 2 y 18 dice, and the Lord God said, it's not a good thing that man should be alone. So he created Adam first, simply. I'll make him an helpmeet for him. And then it says here, and out of the ground the Lord God formed every beast of the field and every fowl of the air and brought them unto Adam to see what he would call them. And whatsoever Adam called every living creature, that was the name thereof. And Adam gave names to all the cattle, to all the fowl of the air, to every beast of the field. But for Adam, there was not found an helpmeet for him. That means that all the animals, when God created them, he created them, male and female, male and female. Simple. But when he made man, he did not make a man and female at the instant of creation. En la instancia de la creación, Dios no hizo hombre y mujer. Dios hizo hombre primero, hombre, punto. Y entonces, Dios dice que no es bueno que Adán sea solo. And the Lord caused a deep sleep to fall upon Adam, and he slept. And God took one of his ribs and closed up the flesh instead thereof. And the rib which the Lord God had taken from man made he a woman, meaning without man, from the man, and brought her unto the man. So, lo que Dios hizo fue causar a Adán que soñase, que durmiera en el 21, y entonces él cogió uno de sus costillas, o el lado de Adán, y de allí formó Dios a Eva, a la mujer. So, this is what Adam said. Listen to this. Esto es lo que Adán dijo. Adán dijo lo siguiente. And Adam said, this is now bone of my bones. Fidelity. La fidelidad. Hueso de mis huesos. And flesh of my flesh. Carne de mi carne. Fidelidad. Faithfulness. Fidelity. Flesh of my flesh. She shall be called woman, because this is what woman means. She was taken out of man. That's the literal definition what woman is. Without, the W-O means without, means outside, taken out of man. La palabra mujer en inglés directamente viene de decir sacado de hombre. So we see that in all of creation, the only creature that God had a two-step process. Sorry, I might lose some of you here. That God had a two-step process with in making the sexes, because in heaven there's no sex. There's no sexes in heaven. There's no, no genitalia in any beings in heaven. No angels have any. They don't get it. They don't get any. Okay. Los ángeles no tienen nada de eso. No tienen órganos sexuales. Okay. So sex is not a thing, not like we know it in heaven. El sexo no es algo como lo conocemos en el cielo, en la realidad de Dios. See, that's only our created thing. Eso es solamente nuestra cosa creada. Marriage. In heaven there is no marriage. En el cielo no hay matrimonio. Again, that is a created thing. Es algo creado. Now, understand what is meant by created. When we create things, they have a relationship with our reality. Like when I create software, for example, of late I've been doing these language shows, and I'm creating now a software to show me some flashcards. So I can practice the letters and the nikud, those who are watching the Hebrew one, and I think the Arabic one also has the diacritics. So they have the little points and little wiggly lines, whatever, that changes the way you say things. So you need to do exercises so that you can get familiar, seeing it in practice. So that forces me to look for creating something. I've created things. See? So, but the created things that I made are related to my reality. Yeah. So, see, you guys have to create things so you can understand the creative mind. Ustedes tienen que crear cosas para que ustedes comprenden la mente creativa o la mente del creador, de un creador. Para que entiendan que cuando un creador crea en relación a su realidad. So when a creator creates, he creates according to his reality. The truth of his existence, la verdad de su existir, de su ser, his being. Of course, the thing that you're creating is not the same as what the creator is. We're not, right? It's different. Así que la cosa que es creado es diferente que de la realidad del creador. Solo puede ser una expresión en el medio de creación. So it can only be an expression in the creative medium. You artists know what I'm talking about. Does this make perfect sense to an artist out there? Raise your hand. It made perfect sense. Everyone else is... What it means is that you can only create within the limits, the limitations of what you're using to create with. And because of that, you can only express the truth, but it isn't the truth. It isn't the reality of the truth. It is only an expression of the truth within the capacity and the limits of the medium. And I'll explain that in a moment. Los artistas entienden lo que estoy diciendo. Que solamente uno puede expresar las realidades, las verdades a través de las limitaciones, el contexto del medio en que se está usando para comunicar o crear. Y le voy a explicar con detalle cómo se entiende esto, lo que dije ahora. We'll take painting as our medium, paint. Vamos a tomar la pintura como nuestro medio. Para que tú entiendas, lo que estamos usando para las átomas las moléculas que estamos usando para crear. We're going to use the atoms, the painting is going to be the context, the atoms that we're using to compose a reality, right? Like our reality is made out of atoms. That's the painting God used. Painting with atoms, quantum physics and all those things. That's painting medium. That's all. Las cosas de nuestra realidad, de la física quantum y los átomos y todo eso son en medio, es como la pintura que Dios usó, eso nada más. Dios podía haber usado muchas diferentes cosas, escogió ese medio, punto. That makes sense. Can you imagine, huh? So God could have used many different mediums. He could have created any medium he wanted. He chose atoms, the things of physics and photons, electrons, and everything else. So he created it. That he used that. He created that medium in which to express. So nosotros, as an example, we're going to make a painting. What are we going to paint? We're going to paint the sun. Vamos a pintar el sol, ¿ok? So ustedes escogen la pintura. What are you going to choose? ¿Qué usted va a escoger para pintar el sol? Vamos a pintar un sol, vamos a hacerlo imaginamente. Tomamos el canvas, ¿verdad? Y en medio la pintura y vamos a hacer un círculo. So we're going to make a circle. What the color paint? We're going to get some yellow as the base, right? We'll put the yellow on there, and then we're gonna get a little some orangey and some red, and then put that around, and let that sun begin to start, heating up the place and lighting up the place, right? And you get that little glow around it. So you create your reality, a reality in paint. Ustedes crean el sol con pintura. You're creating a sun. It's a sun. Anyone who looks at it says, that's the sun. Cualquiera que lo mira dice, ese es el sol. But does it give light like the real sun does that we know? No. Does it give heat like the real sun we know of does? No. ¿Da luz como nuestro sol hace? No. ¿Da calor como nuestro sol hace? No. See, that's the difference between reality, what's real, and the created thing. Esa es la realidad, esa es la realidad de lo real, la diferencia entre lo real, lo verdadero, y la cosa creada. Can you imagine? See that? That the sun is a created thing. Can you imagine what the real thing is like from which it was fashioned? Usted puede imaginar la cosa verdadera de la cual fue formada lo que conocemos como el sol. See, that's what you have to understand. Yeah, when God made man in our physical body, there was limitations. Cuando Dios hizo el hombre de la tierra, había limitaciones. Cuando hizo los animales, había limitaciones. There's limitations involved when God created all things. Había límite en cuando Dios hizo todas las cosas. Había límites reales. And what were those limits? It depends on what it is. We have to focus now on this issue of man and woman. Or at least in the animals tonight. What was the limitation? Reproduction. How can they reproduce? How can I paint this so that these creatures can reproduce? ¿Cómo puedo dibujar esto? Piensa, creador, ¿cómo puedo dibujar esto para que estas criaturas pueden reproducir? Porque la vida es eterna. Because life is eternal. How can we make them live eternally when they're physical? sex. El sexo. Y producen imágenes y semejanzas. And then they can produce images and likenesses within the limits of physical nature. Entre los límites de la naturaleza física. So again, it's understanding why God did things the way He did them. Es entendiendo por qué Dios hizo las cosas como lo hizo. But not forgetting what? Pero no olvidando de qué? Genesis 1:1. Genesis 1:1. That the reality and that the truth is God. Everything else is created. Todo lo demás está creado. Lo único verdadero es Dios. Y las cosas creadas son limitadas. And the created things are limited. Don't forget that ever, 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 ever. No te olvides de eso nunca. So this is where the basis becomes the facts here. The point of marriage, well, first of all, why do we have sex? This comes together with like last week's, the last 2 weeks, we did the thing on the homosexual in the family. Hicimos la lección sobre el homosexual en la familia los otros 2 semanas, right? Remember that? So if you missed it, you missed it, but they're still on there, wherever you're looking at it from. And then, but realize something. This ties in, doesn't it? Because it's establishing what sex is. What's the purpose of sex? ¿Qué es el propósito de sexo? From God's perspective, the perspectiva de Dios, it has nothing to do with your feelings, how you like it, how you're sexually aroused, or it has nothing to do with that. That is not germane to what the purpose of sex is, really. ¿Qué es el propósito del sexo? No tiene que ver con los sentimientos, con sus perspectivas. Con lo que tú sientes, lo que te levanta, con los ánimos. Tiene que ver con la perspectiva de la realidad, porque la relación es con lo real. Remember that the relationship of all these things is with the reality. What does it have to do with it? It is the mechanism, the method that God used to make man in the likeness of eternity. Para hacer el hombre en la semejanza a la eternidad, para que sigue en generaciones el hombre, so that the man continues to live generationally, eternally. That is the point to it. That is the purpose of it. Ese es el punto y el propósito. Now then, you can have sex, right? So now let's go. We're trying to quicken this up, so you guys got to keep ahead now. Keep with me now. Why marriage? ¿Por qué el casamiento? ¿Por qué Dios hizo al hombre diferente que los demás animales? Why did God create man differently than He did the other animals? Couldn't have God made man like He did the animals? And as science proposes that, we have male and female, evolved, didn't come out from the rib. No podemos tener el asunto que el hombre y la mujer se desarrollaron con la evolución. No tenía que salir de la costilla del hombre primero. La ciencia te va a decir así. Does God's nature show a possible evolution of species? Si la naturaleza demuestra, puede ser que la naturaleza demuestre la evolución de la especie. La respuesta es sí. The answer to that is yes, certainly. It's not anti-biblical. No es anti-bíblico eso. Pero el problema es que el hombre no fue hecho así. The only issue is that man was not made that way. He specifically, and we're not talking about any hominids. I'm talking scientifically now. I won't bother with all you who don't understand. Go to school. All hominids did not start in Genesis 1:26. And with that, I said everything, for those who know. Todos los hominidas, or los hominides, whatever, they're not homos. I'm talking scientific now. No tuvieron comienzo en Génesis 1:26. Eso está hablando del hombre moderno. Genesis 1:26, speaking of modern man. Man the way, Homo sapiens. El Homo sapiens, the Homo sapien. That's Genesis 1:26. That was made differently. Fue hecho diferente. La mujer fue sacado de él. The woman was taken out of man himself. Why? Because it's in relation to the reality, to the truth, which is God. Porque está hecho en relación con la realidad y la verdad que es Dios. Look at this again. In Scripture, God tells you that very fact. Let's look at that again. See, God says, does he say it here? He should say it here. No, he doesn't say it here again. Let me see it. No, let's see. No, it doesn't say it here. So we'll go back. It's Genesis 1. Está en Génesis 1 donde lo dice. So here you see it again. And he said, so God, it says 26, and God said, let us make man in. Now the funny thing about this is that if he did not say in our image after our likeness, they could have still made man. Dice aquí en 1:26, because you need to read and understand what God is saying. Okay? That's the thing. Because a lot of people just read through that and don't realize what God is actually saying. Entonces dijo Dios, hagamos al hombre a nuestra imagen, conforme a nuestra semejanza. Ahora entiende que Dios podía haber dicho, hagamos al hombre. Punto. Pero Dios especifica a nuestra imagen, conforme a nuestra semejanza. See that? He's making a specification of man to be made in our image and after our likeness. So when God fashioned man, and how did he made man? He made Adam first, because that is the likeness and image of God. Wasn't man and woman. No era hombre y mujer, la imagen y semejanza de Dios. Era Adán, la imagen y semejanza de Dios. So it was Adam, the likeness and the image of God. This is the reason God didn't create the man and woman in the same instance, in the same creative instance. He did not, because it would not be the image and likeness of God. No hubiera sido la imagen y semejanza de Dios si Dios hubiera creado a Adán y Eva en el mismo instante. ¿Sí? Lo hizo Adán. Eva estaba adentro. Eva era Adán y Eva estaban juntos, ¿cierto? Adán era completo. Eva fue sacado de Adán. But God did not make her separate from the beginning. It would not be the likeness. And again, there's some religions out there that are teaching about this other lady and all that. You guys are not understanding that when you don't understand the scripture, it becomes evident because you guys start believing in stories and fables that do not square with God. La gente empieza a creer historia y cosas que no concuerdan con Dios. Dios no es hombre y mujer. God is not male and female. He would not make a male and female at one instance and then say that that's his image and his likeness. Because then all you can learn from that is that God is a male and then there's someone else next to him that's a female and that they're God. That's all that you can glean from that. That's ridiculous. Dios no hizo hombre y mujer a un instante porque eso no es la imagen y semejanza de Dios, sencillamente. So the fact is, so therefore, when we marry, what is marriage then? Now that you understand that God created man in his likeness and image, what is marriage? ¿Qué es matrimonio? Ahora que entienden lo que es, el hombre fue hecho la imagen y semejanza de Dios. Now you tell me. All you guys, you young guys looking for girlfriend, boyfriend, this and that, do you know what actually it is that you're doing? Ustedes que buscan novio y novia, ustedes entienden lo que están haciendo. What is the exercise at hand? ¿Cuál es el ejercicio en que se están empeñando? You guys are learning from the world, from people who do not respect God as their creator. You're learning from them something that isn't true. Ustedes están aprendiendo del mundo cosas que no son verdaderos. Están aprendiendo falsedades. You're learning falsehoods from the world because these are the images that you see that other people do and the things you watch on TV, las cosas que tú ves otros haciendo en el mundo y las cosas que ves haciéndose en la televisión. Ahora en los medios sociales and now in social media. All of you guys are learning error. Ustedes están aprendiendo error. Hear it now and write it down. And remember, the only reason for marriage is to affirm God. La única razón del matrimonio, propósito, es de afirmar Dios. If you are not affirming God, you have no business getting married. Si tú no estás afirmando a Dios, tú no tienes ningún negocio casándose, metiéndose en matrimonio, casándose uno con otro. No están reconociendo a Dios. You're not recognizing God, the Creator. You have no business getting married. Looking for boyfriend and girlfriend. What is wrong with you? Ustedes buscando novio y novia por ahí. ¿Qué es tu problema? You got issues. Tú tienes problemas. You have real big problem on your hand. Yeah, because then what are you going to do getting married? You're going to expect what exactly? ¿Qué es lo que tú esperas ahora? Santo Dios. What are you expecting? If you don't recognize God, what are you expecting from your marriage? Si tú no reconoces a Dios, ¿qué es lo que tú estás esperando de su matrimonio? Fidelidad, fidelity, faithfulness. You probably had sex before you got married. Ustedes quizás tuvieron sexo antes de casarse. ¿Y tú esperas qué? Fidelidad. You gotta be kidding, aren't you? Usted espera fidelidad. Se casaron, tuvieron sexo antes de casarse. ¿Y tú qué? ¿Tú quieres qué? ¿Tú esperas qué? When you're contemplating marriage, you have to have a self-check And also check the other person that they are recognizing God. Because if they are not and you are not, or one is and one isn't, whatever it is, it's not right. You are starting a marriage on the wrong foot. Ustedes están empezando el matrimonio mal si uno o los dos no están reconociendo y honrando a Dios primeramente. Y quieren casar para afirmar a Dios. Aleluya, eso es más grande que el esposo ni la esposa. This is greater and beyond the husband or the wife. This is a faithfulness to God, a recognition of God, hallelujah, as the creator. Es una afirmación de Dios como un creador, como su creador. Esto no tiene que ver con sexo. This is not about sex. It's about God. Santo es el Señor. Holy be of the Lord. Amen. This isn't sex. It's about God. This is the failure of the Hebrews, the Torah keepers, and the church throughout all of history. They're not teaching the right things to society, to the world, because all the earth is mine. Toda es mía toda la tierra. Dijo Jehová, no están enseñando correctamente. Because you guys are looking at the creator. We gotta get married before you have sex. We gotta have sex so we can get married. So we can have kids. O sea, que podemos tener hijos, hay que casarnos, vamos a casarnos. Para que podamos tener hijos, ustedes están concentrando y enfocando en las cosas creadas. You focus on the created thing instead of the creator. En vez que al creador. That's why everything goes wrong. That's why you do things the wrong way. Por eso tú haces las cosas mal hechas y salen mal las cosas. If you want things to be done the right way, you got to start them the right way. Si tú quieres que las cosas salgan bien, tienen que empezarlas bien. I'm sorry that your churches did not teach you right. Me entristece que sus iglesias no te enseñaron bien. Te metiste la pata y cualquier otra cosa por ahí. You stuck in your foot into it and anything else you had dangling. But you have to remember Genesis 1:1. Pero hay que recordarse de Génesis 1:1. It's all about God. It isn't about the created things. Todo tiene que ver con Dios, no la cosa creada. So how we understand what infidelity is. We're understanding it through this all. We understand what the marriage is about. Why did the marriage come? Where did marriage come from? People that do not honor God. Why are you getting married? I don't know. What's the point? ¿Qué es el punto en casarse? It's fascinating to me. I know you guys got financial things, this and that, and stuff like because of the laws are made in such a way to enhance marriage. Like, if they're not honoring God, I don't see why legislation is to be had. Really, I'm not a legislative Christian. Yo no soy un cristiano legislador. Yo no creo que se debe legislar la cristianidad o la verdad de Dios. I don't believe in legislating the truth of God. I believe in living and demonstrating the truth of God in one's life. Yo creo en la demostración de la verdad de Dios en la vida de uno. Más efectivo, más educativo que legislar la ley o legislar a lo bíblico en la ley. I don't agree with it, because all you're doing is you're causing people to do something, a right thing, a good thing, for the wrong reason. I don't see where that's any good. Yo no veo que dónde es lo bueno en forzar a la gente a hacer el bien para el propósito malos y aún pecaminosas. So you're making people get married because of so they can sin. So they can actually sin even through marriage, because the marriage does not cleanse sin. El matrimonio no limpia el pecado. Sakabashanda. Ay, santo Jesús, haciendo las cosas mal hechas por la manera mala no es cubrir el pecado. No limpia uno de pecado. You do not cleanse sin by covering it up with a good thing or a good act. All you're teaching the society is to be one big hypocrite, a societal hypocrisy. And it's a negation of God throughout society. You made things worse, church and Torah keepers. Hicieron la cosa muy mal hecho, ustedes que guardan en la Torah y ustedes que se llaman la iglesia. Con forzar, imponer la ley en de cosas bíblicas, verdades espirituales sobre unas personas que son pecaminosas, que no quieren reconocer a Dios. En vez de demostrar con su propia vida, all you did was replace the accountability of your own life and your own testimony, and therefore the power of the gospel and the word of God, and you replaced it with the law of the land. Look what happened. Ustedes cambiaron el poder y la autoridad de la palabra de Dios vivificado en sus vidas con la ley de la tierra. ¿Y qué potencia tuvo eso? ¿Qué fue el resultado? Lo están viendo, todo el mundo quiere ser homosexual. Everybody wants to be homosexual now. Get married too, to boot. My Lord have mercy. That means Dios tenga misericordia. ¿Qué cosa? So again, you have to teach your children. You guys are young. Those who are watching me who are young, understand this. It is about God. Esto tiene que ver de Dios. Joven. Entiéndase eso. Si usted está buscando de novia, de tener novio, novia, entiende que esto tiene que ver con afirmar a Dios como creador de los cielos y la tierra. Si no, échase como los perros en la calle. Es así, pues punto. A mí no me molesta. You know, if you're not going to do it to affirm God, then just be like the dogs in the street. They don't bother me. Animals are animals. Animales son animales. You guys believe in evolution. Ustedes creen en la evolución. Yo creo en Dios. I believe in God. In Gott. You guys believe in evolution. You guys believe in monkey business. Ustedes creen en la monería. Siendo monos, desarrollaron de los monos, entonces actúan como los monos por ahí. No pretenden ser imagen y semejanza de Dios. Don't try to pretend to be in the image and likeness of God, because that isn't it. That this is the teaching of marriage has to be conforming to the scripture. Scriptures begin with Genesis 1, and then is the creation of man and the way man was made and woman. This is the foundation right here. Without the proper foundation, your building's going to fall down. Your marriage will fall down without the proper foundation. Sin la fundación apropiada, su edificio, su matrimonio se va a caer. Los fundamentos del matrimonio están aquí, Génesis 1:1 y Génesis 1:26 y Génesis 2. Genesis 2, let's get that verse for you. I'm sorry. Génesis 2, 22 y 23. And Genesis 2, 22 to 23. This is your basis for marriage. This is what you have to understand. That is why you get married. You're getting married to affirm that God created the heavens and the earth. And number two, that God created man in his likeness and in his image. And because of that, he made Eve from man. And that's why you marry. Es la razón que tú te casas es solamente porque Dios hizo a Eva de Adán. That's it. There's no other reason to get married. The animals don't get married. Cattle don't get married. Los animales no se casan. Ellos tienen sexo. Pero el hombre fue hecho, la mujer fue hecho del hombre. That is where marriage began. That's why you have marriage. So why is there infidelity? Well, number one, we already know why. Number one, because you started your marriage wrong. The premise was wrong. Tenemos infidelidad porque la premisa de su matrimonio fue equivocada. Empezaron mal. Pensaron que era las cosas creadas. Ustedes pusieron énfasis en la cosa creada. Wrong. You put emphasis on the created thing. Wrong, right off the bat. That is why Paul actually recommends you stay single. Por eso Pablo recomienda que el siervo de Dios, el que está trabajando para Dios, se mantenga sin casarse. Because the teaching is above the created thing. Porque porque la enseñanza, Pablo recomendó que no se casara, el que está trabajando para el Señor, que no se casara. ¿Por qué? Porque las enseñanzas de Dios son arriba, sobre, más importante que las cosas creadas. That's the justification for Paul telling people, if you can stay unmarried, stay unmarried. Because it's a created thing. This is not the heavens. This is not God's kingdom. In other words, where God is, there is no marriage there. So, again, the truth is the truth. The created things are created things. People, the marriage is for affirming the truth in the flesh. Afirmando la verdad en la carne, en las cosas creadas. Afirmando la verdad. Affirming the truth in the created flesh. That's the purpose of it. But if you can affirm the truth, teach the truth, then you don't really need to do the flesh thing. Not really. But if you can't hold it, it's basically what Paul said. If you just subject so much to the created thing, he said, then get married, but realize what you're doing. Don't just get married for sex, because that's not the true teaching of it. Esa no es la verdadera enseñanza del matrimonio, no es tener sexo. But I know that majority of you folks have done it. I know that I was raised in churches. I was raised in the church. I know the conversation. Yo conozco la conversación. Yo me crié en la iglesia, típicos. So yo conozco el ambiente tú sabes, del matrimonio, del noviazgo y las cosas del Señor, las cosas de Dios. So I understand where the thinking is, but unfortunately the teaching wasn't there. La enseñanza no estaba allí. Right? Because, even at least in our churches, even the pastors got married, so they were like also, subject to, right? Estaban ellos sujetos a las mismas pasiones que los demás, mayormente, en su mayoría. And you tend to get developed teachers according to what you subjected yourself to, actually, if you think about it. Y si tú es honesto, usted tiene que admitir que mayoría de sus enseñanzas son basadas en su propia experiencia, o sea, sujeto a sus a sus preferencias de las cosas creadas, right? Lo que ustedes ven que están hablando arriba de las cosas, pues esas son los que tienen su mente en cosas más arriba. Y las cosas abajo están ahí. So you can tell basically how a person speaks or teaches, in this case in the church, where their head is. If their head is low flying, low lying, but they're going to teach everything like in terms of marriage and other human things, they're going to teach it at a human level. But those who have a higher level of relationship with these things, they tend to speak about these things in a higher at a higher level. These are the lower things. The truth is here. This is the reality right here. La verdad. And that's how you can tell. This guy, he's talking like he's up here. He's not talking like we talk with my friends here. We can get down there we want to, but the truth is here. You want to ask me what the truth is of this? I'm over here. Si tú quieres, yo te puedo hablar así como cualquiera navarra, así, pero si tú quieres la verdad, si quieres conocer la verdad, yo te enseño la verdad del asunto. So that's it. Listen, how do you prevent adultery? How do you prevent infidelity? It's just simple. It really is. You ensure that you yourself and your partner are affirming God as the reason for getting married. Usted, para prevenir el adulterio y la infidelidad, es que usted mismo o usted misma y su compañero estén afirmando, asegúrese que ustedes están afirmando que Dios es el creador y afirmando que Dios hizo al hombre en su imagen y semejanza y cómo lo hizo, todas esas cosas que le he enseñado ahorita. Asegúrese que esa es la razón, el motivo. Quiere decir que la persona con que tú te vas a casar es una persona seriamente dado a glorificar y a honrar a Dios en su vida. What it means is that the person that you're getting married with is a person who is serious about God, is serious about affirming God in his or her own life. That is the most important thing to them. Because their faithfulness to your marriage is based on their faithfulness to God. Su afirmación y su dedicación, su fidelidad a su matrimonio está basado en la fidelidad de ellos con Dios. Punto. That's what makes the marriage last. It's the dedication, complete dedication to what it means to be married. Now, there's been people who do not necessarily, atheists. I'm talking without knowing, but I don't know for sure, but I'm just going to give a shot in the dark that there may be some atheist couples out there who have gotten married and they've been married all their lives. The question is, why have they stayed together all that time? And second, if they've been truly faithful to each other all the time, we don't know. No sabemos si los ateos que se casan y están todavía juntos toda la vida, si tuvieron fiel a cada uno, no sabemos. There's couples that allow each other to explore and have fun, and they're happy. Hay parejas que se dejan libremente tener sexo y explorar y están contentos. So they are happily negating God in their relationship, and that makes them that is for them their God. Es para ellos su Dios. Eso. Replace it that don't affirm God. They deny God in unison for the rest of their lives. And truly, if you're going to deny God, listen to this, you're going to hear it from me. If you're going to deny God in your life, then why do you need faithfulness in the marriage? Go out there and have some fun. But that'll be the quote, right? Look what pastor said. Mira lo que dijo el pastor. Oye, qué bochinche. El pastor dijo que todo el mundo que vaya, si no van a honrar a Dios, que vaya a tener sexo con cualquiera. If you're not going to get married to honor and recognize God, then nothing else matters, does it? What does it matter? Are you concerned about sinning? You're not. You're already sinning. If you marry for any other reason than that, you're sinning. What does it matter? But don't expect to be together forever. Don't get disappointed. No te desamines. Si no vas a hacer las cosas correctamente desde un principio, y fiel o no fiel, no importa. Si no lo vas a hacer bien, no te desanimes, no te sientes defraudado o defraudada cuando el compañero, no es fiel. That's all I'm saying. You have no right to expect faithfulness. Tú no tienes derecho de esperar fidelidad. No one that doesn't believe in God, nadie que no cree en Dios, debe tener la expectación de fidelidad. If you don't believe in God, you shouldn't really have an expectation of fidelity, because nature does not have that in a broad stroke. There are some examples, but there are some examples. The majority of nature is, hey, let's get it on. That's the natural thing. La cosa natural para personas naturales o animales es tener sexo cuando sea oportuno. The animalistic way of this matter of sex is that you should have it whenever it becomes available. That's the natural way in the majority. There are some faithful pairs in nature. Hay algunos parejas naturales permanentes o durables que se nota, hay cierta especie que son así. There are some species that demonstrate fidelity, but that's not the majority of nature. The majority of species, they just have sex whenever they can get. Tienen sexo cuando lo tengan. So the expectation of sexual discipline, la expectación de disciplina sexual, de autocontrol sexual, the sexual self-control and maturity, as we say, y la madurez sexual, es solamente fundada en que Dios creó los cielos y la tierra. It's really only based in that God created the heavens and the earth, and that is recognized by the parties. Y que eso es reconocido y reafirmada por los partes, las personas en esa relación. So that is the pure and simple of it. And basically, it's what I've always said is, before you guys start getting parents, how do you teach your children? You need to show them. Los padres tienen que enseñar a sus hijos lo que es el matrimonio. Tienen que la conversación en el hogar, the conversation in your homes, should always be focusing, not always, I say that in a general term. It means that your children should be exposed to wholesome communication and education by gestalt in the home. That means that they absorb it by what you say, do, how you act and behave with each other. That you guys married as an affirmation that God created the heavens and the earth, and that God created man in his likeness, and that woman was taken out of man. So this is a union, a reunion of what cannot be taken apart by anyone. So es una reunificación. Deben de sus hijos entender que el hombre y la mujer, mamá y papá, son la reunificación de lo que Dios separó en el jardín de Edén. Cuando Dios hizo al hombre en su imagen y semejanza, entonces formó la mujer del costilla del hombre. Ellos tienen que entender esto. Por eso nos casamos. Cuando nos casamos, estamos reconociendo a Dios. Y somos fiel. Yo soy fiel a su mamá es fiel a mí porque somos fiel a Dios. The mother is faithful to the father is faithful to the mother because we are faithful to God. And that is in fact the teaching that God intended with marriage, with that whole issue. Is understanding that we are one, that God created us in His likeness and image, one. Que Dios nos creó, que somos uno, una sola carne, en la imagen y semejanza de Dios. He is one essence, God. Él es una esencia, Dios. Without getting into the things of the Trinity, that goes into a different story altogether. But if you believe that man has a soul, you cannot just say that God is just one thing. Okay, so anyway, but that's another teaching. Si tú crees que el hombre tiene un alma, tú no puedes creer que Dios solo es uno en total. Okay, so tienes que entender eso, pero no vamos a entrar en esa enseñanza ahora. Let me check on some comments or questions. 1 second. All right, so in this last final moments, we're going to talk about how to deal with infidelity once it occurs, or if and ever it does occur. This is it's a serious question. Es una pregunta muy difícil, serio. Y no es fácil de darles una contestación. It's not really easy to give you an easy answer to that. Really, your heart is the one that's going to dictate. Porque en realidad, in reality, if your heart cannot take it, then you cannot take it. Simple. You did not cause it to be damaged. You have to understand that. So it's okay that you feel the way you do, yes. But also understand the way, now you understand the way God feels when man sins against him, when man does not do what God created man to do. Because that feeling that you have, it's exactly what God feels. If not more greater, though. Así que cuando sucede la infidelidad en nuestra vida, y es una cosa muy difícil, muy dolorosa, usted, la víctima, tiene que entender, o víctima, tienen que entender, ahora comprender lo que Dios siente, porque Dios siente lo mismo cuando el hombre peca contra de él, cuando el hombre no afirma lo de Dios, cuando el hombre ignora a Dios, cuando el hombre no reconoce a Dios. Es el mismo sentir, o peor, más grande, que siente Dios, una pena más que usted está sintiendo. Piensen eso. Eso es lo que ustedes deben de estar pensando. Yo sé que ustedes duelen, pero también piensa, recuerde, en el principio creó Dios los cielos y la tierra. Todas estas cosas y sus sentimientos son creadas, pero para que tú entiendas. See, your feelings, the hurt feelings, the sentiments and things that you're feeling and going through, God is going through them worse than you. So you have to understand that. But these are you're crying over spilled milk. In other words, over the created thing. The reality is what God is feeling, and that's what you need to learn when you're going through this. As soon as you can, start bringing God back into the equation for yourself, and start focusing on God, which is the way you need to start dealing with infidelity. You need to seek in God, not what it means to you, but to reach out to God in solidarity with God, knowing now and feeling what He feels for humanity. Entendiendo lo que Dios siente en solidaridad con Dios. Usted debe lo más pronto posible que pueda empezar a enfocar en lo que Dios está sintiendo, porque Él siente más que eso en relación con la humanidad, que no le ha sido fiel, que ha sido infiel a Él. And that's important because it sets you in the right positioning for what you have to do next and what the things you have to deal with next. Eso te pone en la propia posición para usted bregar con las demás cosas que van a venir, porque hay daños. If there's children in the relationship, there's damage. I don't know how a man or a woman can walk away from a relationship and which is breaking the children. I mean, gee, talk about damage. Hablando del daño que se hace cuando uno tiene hijos y uno se sale de la familia así. Because you are hurting the child. You're destroying your future. Your eternity is being destroyed because you're damaging that. That's what you've done. Eso es lo que tú haces de dañar su futuro, porque su futuro, su eternidad son esos niños. And we've run out of time, but just to finish, a lot of you too have been damaged like that already. That's why you're doing it again. Mucho del el daño así fue hecho a los padres mismos, también antes. Y por eso lo están haciendo otra vez ahí. And others not in that fashion, in some other way. Y otros no en ese sentido, pero en otros. That's why before you get married, you should get counseling. Por eso antes de casarse deben de buscar un consejero como yo. You have to find a counselor like me. Because I can't counsel all of you. But you need to find someone like me. I'm going to tell you why. Because as you hear me, as I'm explaining things, you get a certain idea. See that? So you need to find someone like me to counsel when you are when you are in a relationship and you are thinking of getting married before you get married. O alguien como mi persona que explica bien las cosas. Bien las cosas y se ve que tiene entendimiento. Tiene que buscar a alguien para que se sienta con ustedes y cogen consejería antes de decir, ok, vamos a casarnos. Mientras que están casados, necesitan consejería continuadamente. As you are married, the first few years, the first 7 years in particular, you need the counselor to continue counseling, or you need some counseling type of education. It could be even just videos you guys watch once a week, get together and do some marriage education. Continuing ed. Educación continuada, educación. Y alguno apoyo personal de un consejero. And some personal counseling from a counselor. And throughout life. Y a través de la vida, you're raising your kids, all of these things, all along the way. Usted debe siempre estar en la educación y tener alguien con quien hablar. And have someone which you can speak that both husband and wife agree. This is our counselor throughout our life together, and we will share whatever it is that's bothering us, whatever we feel is going on. We will be truthful and honest and sit with this counselor, and we will, deal with and handle with everything the right way, under God. Debajo de Dios, a bregar con todas las cosas, con un consejero a través de toda la vida. It should be your pastors. Debe ser sus pastores, pero francamente Muchos pastores no tienen esa capacidad. Unfortunately, a lot of pastors don't have that facility and that capacity. Unfortunate, because society is not educated that way. And unfortunately, la sociedad no está educado así. So again, like I said, you find somebody like me, it's gold, brother, gold. Tú encuentras a alguien como yo, eso es oro. So find somebody like that. I do offer counseling, but I'm not here to announce that or to promote myself. I'm just saying you need to find somebody like me because I'm not the only one. Yo no soy el único que Dios tiene por ahí, así. Hay muchos, but you need to find them and hold on to them. Necesita usted buscarlo y agarrar de ellos y bendecir su familia y su hogar con esa influencia, with that influence. Okay, so again, look and focus on God. Reset yourselves on God. What do I do? The question is, if I already married on the wrong reason, pray. ¿Qué hago si me casé con los malos propósitos? Yo dije, orar, chicos, orar mucho. But you know, seriously, you really need for both of you to sit down with somebody like myself. Really, don't resist, because the mistake a lot of people do is that you resist, and all you're doing is denying the eventual reality that's going to happen because you resist it simply. La resistencia es una negación a lo que va a suceder eventualmente. Es simplemente porque resistas. Porque en realidad si no resistiesen, siempre se puede haber remedio. Because aún los ateos se casan y se quedan casados toda la vida. Understand that. So you have to understand that even like atheists or people who just live their lives, you know, some of them live together for until they die, and they're not particularly Christian or this or that. Some of them are atheists, in fact, and they get through it. You know, you just have to stop. Each one of you have to stop the resistance, because the bottom line is it's a learning. This is a created thing. And it's a learning experience. El casamiento es algo creado, recuerde. Y el asunto es un asunto de aprendizaje. That's all it is. It's called growth. And the minute you resist anything like that I said, you're just stunting your growth. You will not grow and develop in that area. It's just simple as that. Sencillamente, si tú resistes lo que yo digo, lo que he enseñado es una resistencia, una negación al crecimiento personal. Y eso es todo lo que es. No va a resultar bien. It's not going to. Okay? So that's the end of it for today. I'm sure there's other questions that have to do with like divorce and later what should we do and this and that. There may be some future topics on that and maybe not. But in any case, if you reach out to me, I will be able to answer any questions you have on that. As the Lord wills, we have different topics for the remainder of the year. And maybe one of those things will answer a question or two of yours. Dios le bendiga. Tengo otros, durante el año, otros temas. Quizás contesta algunas otras preguntas. Si tienen algo en particular que quieran hacer, a mí sencillamente me escriban o comentan en uno de mis videos y yo te atiendo después del video si no es relevante al tema del video. Y hasta ahora pues hemos terminado esta enseñanza de hoy. So we thank you. We urge the young people, do the things the right way. Just like in the coronavirus, if you don't do things the right way, you're going to get it, right? It's the same thing about marriage. If you don't do it the right way, you're going to get it sooner or later. God bless you and God keep you. Dios te bendiga, Dios te guarde. Haz las cosas bien hecho, muchacho. No te hagas un desastre allí. As always, your donations are valuably needed so that our teachings can remain in the cloud for after we have departed this planet. Like if your donation, any amount, using your phone with the big square thingamajig there, or in your browser at the HTTPS address. You see the URL and make your donation at PayPal me /TSPCI, or go to our website tspci.org and press on any link there. Any page will have a donation button on the right side of the page, and simply make your donations there. We thank you, and God bless you, and God keep you. Until next time, folks. Amen.